This is a questionable reality production. Hello! I'm Zander Crowns, and this is AP Post History. Now let's get started. Today, we will be covering topic 1.2, Pre-Apocalyptic Society and the Environment. In our contemporary society, the climate is a hot-button debate topic, with sentiments over it ever rising like the tides of the ocean. Well, in question mark 37, the climate debate had largely settled down. And let's explain why. Back in the year question mark, the world was gripped in a dramatic, movie-worthy environmental disaster. Pollution was out of control. Cities were choked by smoke. The oceans were made of sludge, figuratively speaking. And the forests were filled with radiation. This crisis was dubbed the Imminent Dying. People were clamoring that the apocalyptic was nigh, and many were preparing for the worst. Of course, they were poorly timed, given this would blow over, and ultimately they would disprepare for the actual nigh apocalypse, but such is such. But here enters revolutionary scientist, Dr. Ilham Chinook. Dr. Chinook was the head of SMU's Dedman College of Science, and was deeply concerned about the imminent dying, and was deeply in love with salmon. Before coming to SMU, she spent 16 years in seclusion among one of the last habitats of salmon in western Alaska, our Canada. Dr. Chinook, when analyzing this situation, realized that the key to humanity's salvation was, guess it, salmon. The scientific community naturally, predictably, rejected Dr. Chinook's ideas, and her position at SMU was threatened, but luckily she was tenured. Despite the backlash, the world was so desperate for a solution that really anything seemed like a good idea at this point. A mysterious trillionaire funded Dr. Chinook's research, and by the end of question mark 02, her salmon were ready. You may be confused how a salmon in any way could stop the imminent dying and eliminate pollution from the world, because in our modern mind, salmon are just a fish with orange flesh that tastes okay if you like fish. But you see, these were special genetically engineered salmon that could absorb pollutants into their skin, thus removing them from the environment. The pollutants would then be isolated in the salmon, which would slowly break those poisons down over the course of its life until they were completely removed. In the year question mark 03, the first batch of these super salmon were released and immediately got to work. Luckily, they were incredibly successful, and the United States of America ordered mass populations of these salmon. So, the imminent dying was renamed the avoided dying. The world rejoiced. Dr. Chinook was given a national holiday, and pollution was removed from the world, except for plastics. And I want you to remember that point. That brings me to our next point, and we're jumping back to the year question mark 37. The super salmon had a negative side effect. They were so effective and so genetically awesome that they caused a massive ecological disaster and essentially resulted in the extinction of all other forms of aquatic life, save plants and some special types of coral. Salmons thought they made nice house decorations, and as a result, about killed 28% of the land organisms as well. And this was unfortunate, don't misjudge me here, but no one was too sad given humans weren't affected at all. So, along with this terrible ecological disaster, aptly labeled the side effect dying, though, the plastic garbage patches of the ocean somehow survived the onslaught of the salmon, much to many people's surprise and frustration. And you know what? This made people angry, because no one likes garbage patches. They're just so utterly unsightly and not appetizing in any way that people were embarrassed that their planet had those. So, in the year question mark 39, newly elected president, unpronounceable name, committed national resources to the addressing and correction of this terrible grievance. This effort was, of course, naturally assisted by the fact that humanity had phased out plastics over 300 years ago. In fact, let's go to today's history segment and hear an address from Unpronounceable about this particular matter. The plastic patch problem is one wholly attributable to the anti-state name faction of governance, and one of their devious means to undermine an important foundation of our fair democracy. Therefore, in my strong preponderance of cleaning the trash of the anti-state name party, I have created a new agency primed for solving this crisis. I promise, before the next election cycle, this will be an issue no more. And I swear that plastic will not walk upon this earth. Of course, he didn't fall through with this, and the program would only cause him a few, as I should say, fatal problems later on. Another important environmental development was the conversion of farmland into farm metroplexes. Instead of farms and ranches stretching across wide horizontal swaths of the world, they went vertically. I'm going to focus on one example of such here. Cow towers. These were skyscrapers covered and committed to the growing of cows. You see, the towers were lined with pods where a cow would grow from fetus to maturity, in a process not dissimilar from traditional fetal development. The cows never gained consciousness and spent its entire life in some type of amniotic state until it was time. Then the cows were harvested and used for traditional cow things. And that's it! Topic 2 of Unit 1 is complete. If you want to find success in your post-history class and think cow towers are a cool idea, which they are, consider subscribing and liking this video. My goal is to see each and every one of you get a 92 in your class and a 7 on the AP test in Quintober. Alright, Zander Crowns, checking out.